And from Queen's Park tonight, you could call it the war of the ads, each one loaded with politics. Two new ones were released today, hitting the airwaves, and they're trying to sway your mind. One over how you buy alcohol, and the other over the federal Liberal carbon tax. We're going to start with that one first. Doug Ford's government released yet another anti-Liberal carbon tax ad today. The opposition is calling it a partisan waste of your money.
The federal government is charging you a carbon tax. You're paying a nickel more.
Here it is, the government's latest salvo in the war with the federal Liberal government. The TV ad stresses how much more the carbon tax, or carbon pricing as the Liberals call it, will cost you. What it does not mention is that the Liberals will give a rebate, which they say will make it revenue neutral for taxpayers.
The federal government is spending millions of dollars to promote their idea, which is that they are going to tax people and then they are going to give them more money back, or some of them more money back. We'll let them communicate their message.
We're using public money to try to have the government of Ontario support their federal cousins in an election that's coming up, and to try to criticize what the federal government is doing.
Now, the Ford government has not released how much it's paying on those ads. However, it will say that the money comes from the $30 million pot it put aside to fight the federal carbon tax. Now to the second ad, and this one released by the beer store, and they're trying to make a case against the Ford government allowing the sale of alcohol in corner stores.
Glenn Howard here. I'm a proud beer store manager, one of 7,000 hardworking employees. There's been a lot of talk lately about
Doug Ford's promise to sell beer in corner stores could be a costly one, because the government would have to break a 10-year contract with the beer stores. There are 6 years left on the contract. Some estimates peg the cost of breaking it at $1 billion.
Was the promise made without fully understanding what the cost could be? And therefore, if there is a cost to taxpayers, should it be held off until the contract expires so it doesn't cost taxpayers anything?
The Premier has made a commitment to put beer and wine in corner stores because we know that we need more choice and convenience. The Retail Council says this is going to create 9,000 jobs in Ontario, this independent body. They say it's going to add $3.5 billion to the GDP, the gross domestic product of Ontario.
Now note, in his response to me, the Finance Minister called the Retail Council's study independent. However, the Retail Council represents stores. It would gain from retailers being able to sell beer in corner stores. Therefore, it has skin in the game. You can hardly call it independent. And another note, employment in grocery stores has barely changed since 2015, when 400 grocery stores were able to sell alcohol. Now, a government spokesperson tells me they still hope to have alcohol sold in alcohol sold in corner stores, hopefully within the next couple of years, they say.